Welcome back to the Pathway to Wholesome Podcast, wherever you are on your own pathway to wholesome living. Whether you're just starting out or further along, I want you to know that you're welcome here. This is a space where we explore, learn, and grow together. There's no right place to begin, so come and walk with me on this journey to wholesome living. I'm so glad to have you alongside of me and all of us who are on this path together. I'm your hostess, Bethany Thompson, an integrative and functional dietitian, food sensitivity specialist, holistic life coach, wife, and mama of 5. If this is your first time here, welcome. In our last episode, we explored what wholesome living really means. Wholesome living means more than just physical health. It's about living a life that's whole and meaningful and life-giving, not just in our bodies, but in our minds and spirits too. Wholesome living is about nurturing every part of who we are, our relationships, how we rest, our faith, and even the ways we enjoy life. It's about flourishing in all areas, not just hitting health or productivity goals, but feeling peace and joy along the way. Today, I want to dive into what I believe is the core of a sustainably wholesome lifestyle. Rest. Rest isn't just something nice to have. It's foundational. Without rest, none of the areas of life, like nourishment, movement, or connection, can truly thrive. So maybe grab a cup of tea, put on your walking shoes, or just sit a little bit more easily in the car line and listen along. When I say rest, I don't just mean sleep, although sleep is a vital part of rest, and those of you who have little children don't get very much of it often. True rest goes beyond sleep to include mental, emotional, and spiritual rest. It's about learning to slow down, trust, and live from a place of peace. When we make rest a priority, we also recognize that we need to provide for our bodies to rest well. This includes creating routines that support our sleep, like a bedtime wind down, and taking breaks throughout the day to recharge. We'll explore some common sleep issues in future episodes and how to address them naturally. But for now, let's look at the bigger picture of rest in our everyday life. Rest is challenging because many of us swing between two extremes, especially when it comes to health: apathy and anxiety. On one end, we can feel stuck in apathy, overwhelmed by life. We stop caring about our health or our goals. On the other hand, we may swing into anxiety, where we work so hard to control everything that healthy living becomes an idol. I've been in both places before, and neither one leads to peace. True rest invites us out of both apathy and anxiety. It gives us clarity to make intentional choices and helps us care for our bodies, minds, and souls without guilt or overwhelm. There was a time in my life about 13 years ago. I had 3 young children, and I discovered the world of natural living. My eyes were open to all the steps I could take to reduce our family's exposure to chemicals and foods that I had been taught were just fine, even in my education as a dietitian. I was so enthusiastic about this new knowledge, and I became deeply focused on making everything from scratch, buying everything natural, going organic, including milling my own grain, making my own yogurt, making my own cleaning supplies, and more. I tried to manage every detail of my family's nutrition and health, thinking that I could control everything if I just tried hard enough. But instead of finding peace, I ended up exhausted. I was caught in a cycle of anxiety and burnout. I wanted to do everything right, but it became so overwhelming. There are moments when I had to have some hard conversations with my husband and the Lord about my desire to control every part of our lifestyle and how that was impacting us as a family. Letting go of perfectionism and learning to trust God with our family's health has been a conscious effort. It's still one that I practice every day. And if I'm being honest, As women, we can be hard on ourselves, but also on others. And sometimes our passion for the things that we value, whether that's natural living, healthy eating, or something else, can make us judgmental toward others who don't share those same values. And that judgment can become a barrier to community and connection. I've struggled with this too, letting my desire to do everything right get in the way of being gracious and flexible with others. Over time, I've learned that grace is essential for ourselves and for others. We can hold our values without holding others to our standards, and we'll explore more about how to approach those conversations with grace in future episodes. Over time, I've found much more peace for myself and for my family. I still do the things that I believe make the biggest impact on our health as much as I can, like milling my own grain. But I've also learned that the stress of certain natural living projects can be counterproductive to my well-being. So I buy store-bought yogurt. I sometimes make my own cleaning supplies, and sometimes I support other small businesses that make products I value. I don't always buy organic. I do what I can. We do what we can as a family, and then I rest in the Lord. One concept that's so helpful to remember in our journey toward rest is that of trying softer. This is a concept that I learned from Andi Colbert in her book, and it's been revolutionary in helping me to transition from trying harder and to live a life of rest. Over the past few years, I've done a lot of deep healing work myself, which has given me more energy to pursue my big goals in life. But with that new energy comes the temptation to keep working harder. And it's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of the urgent. That's where the Full Focus Wellness Planner has made a huge difference for me. It helps me take intentional action toward my long-term goals instead of just reacting to what feels urgent. The Full Focus Wellness Planner is a paper planner that you can start using at any time of the year. It has 3 months of prompts in there, journaling and calendars and areas for you to reflect and plan and dream. It's helped me bridge the gap between annual goals and daily life, and it encourages clarity and reflection. There's just something about writing things down by hand that helps me stay focused without distraction, and research backs this up. When we write things down, we process our thoughts more deeply and stay on track with our goals. As a Full Focus certified pro, I can tell you firsthand how valuable this tool has been in my life and in the lives of others, and I love recommending it. So if you're interested in learning more, I've included a link below to the planner so you can explore it for yourself. Here are a few small steps that you can take this week to invite rest into your life. 1, create a simple evening routine. Wind down your day with a shutdown ritual to help you transition from work mode to home life. One of the things that I do is just to close my computer up and unplug it. And then I take a drive every day just about during the afternoon down a pathway that's green, it's calm, there are trees, and I don't listen to any podcasts. I don't listen to any music. I try to just relax and enjoy the scenery around me as I'm driving to pick up one of my children. The second step we can take this week to invite rest into our lives is to set a boundary around screen time. I know that's so hard to hear, but try turning off screens about 30 to 60 minutes before bed to help your mind wind down. That's when I like to fill in the notes journal section of my Full Focus Planner. I write down things that have been on my mind, things I want to take care of the next day to kind of get them out of my brain so I don't have to hold them there. And I also have some books that I love to read. So I'm a big fan of the Mitford series, if you haven't read that. And I love a good long English novel. Sometimes it's a devotional book I want to pick up. But just something that does not involve screen time. But I will admit this is one of my biggest struggles because I finally have time without children and maybe I want to research something, but setting boundaries around screen time is very important. And third is giving yourself permission to rest. Remember that rest is not earned, it's necessary, and you don't have to finish everything to take a break. One of the things I love learning about with my wellness planner has been the concept of the daily big 3. And so every day I list my 3 most important tasks, the 3 tasks that are going to move me toward my big goals for the week and for the year. And so when I've accomplished those 3 things, I feel a lot more of a sense of completion versus an endless to-do list. And that helps me say, okay, I've taken care of the 3 top things today. Tomorrow we'll have enough time for me to take care of what's next. So here's my question. What's one small way you can invite rest into your life this week? Send me a message or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to download my Wholesome Beginnings 7-day meal plan at the link below for nourishing recipes and tips that align with today's message. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember that rest isn't a luxury. It's the foundation of living well. And from that place of peace, everything becomes possible. In the next episode, we'll dive into Nourished, how to care for your body with joyful, life-giving nutrition without guilt or restriction. And until next time, here's to Wholesome naturally.